Could you tell me what's the relation between Ellsworth Kelly and Monet?
When Ellsworth was living in France between 1948 to 54, he visited Giverny with some friends, and he was invited out basically because he was a student. He went, and Hachet was there and showed him a number of the paintings that were in the house at Giverny, and then they went out to the large glass-lit studio that was in disrepair. Basically, it had pigeons living in it. It had the ceilings were cracked. The nymphia that he saw there, the large paintings, the last paintings, were stacked one against the other. Ellsworth was astonished. He couldn't believe what he was seeing on a number of levels. Ellsworth, being in Paris, having served in World War II, studied at the museum school in Boston. When he came to France, he went to the Beaux-Arts, and then he started his career as an artist here in France, and he loved France.
So what about the influence?
What about the influence? So the painting that's here at the L'Orangerie is a direct influence, because he saw the paintings and painted that monochrome, which is not really a monochrome. It's more watery than you would think. It looks like a little bit of vegetation underwater.
This is only one. But I understood that in the spirit he was influenced by Monet, right?
Well, he was influenced that where I was going basically was to say that Ellsworth was totally unaware of what was going on in America with the abstract expressionists. He was, being here at that pivotal time between 48 and 54 was a real interesting time in America, but he wasn't privy to that. His influences were more about the spirit of Monet, and he carried that through his whole life. In fact, there was an exhibition called Monet Kelly, or Kelly Monet.
At Clark Institute?
At the Clark Institute. That was supposed to be at the Giverny. Ellsworth was given the catalogue raisonné of Monet's paintings, and he wanted to do a show of the late paintings. He was very interested in the color and the abandon, the wildness of what was going on in those paintings. He loved it. In 2005, Ellsworth and I traveled to Belle-Île, and he decided to draw where Monet had painted in the 1880s. He had a book of, well, not a book, but he had done Xeroxes and literally went to the place and did drawings that are really simple, but they have that kind of spirit that Monet had, those large forms, the large rocks out in the water. What's interesting, this is just a side note, which has nothing to do with Monet.
Yes.
But he saw something that he wanted to draw that wasn't something that he had seen in a Monet painting, and drew it. We went back to the hotel that we were staying at, and there was a book of paintings by artists who had worked on Belle-Île, and he opened up, and there was an 1895 painting by Matisse of this rock formation that he had drawn almost exactly the same point that Matisse had painted. So that's, sorry, a little bit off the track.
Okay, we understood the spirit. Merci.
Thank you.